Edwin Sifuna's powerful message to Ida Odinga and Winnie Odinga has sparked controversy in Kenya. Welcome to Kenya Lens Media, where you get news updates as they break, and kindly consider subscribing. Now, fresh tensions are emerging within Orange Democratic Movement after Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna issued remarks that point to widening divisions among the party's senior leadership. His statements, which praised some leaders for pursuing unity while questioning the commitment of others, has drawn attention to unresolved disagreements over the party's direction at a critical political moment. Sifuna's comments suggest that the efforts to stabilize and consolidate ODM are facing resistance from within, raising new questions about cohesion in one of the Kenya's most influential political parties. The developments come as ODM continues to navigate leadership challenges following the death of its long-time leader Raila Odinga, and as the country's political environment shifts ahead of the future elections. While Sifuna sought to pressure party supporters that the dispute is not driven by personal ambition, his words have intensified public debate over loyalty, transparency, and external influence within the party. In his statement, Sifuna singled out Mama Ida Odinga and Ruth Odinga for their behind-the-scenes work aimed at restoring unity within ODM. He described their efforts as consistent and focused on reviving the party's founding spirit, which he linked closely to Raila Odinga's political ideals and legacy. According to Sifuna, the two leaders have been actively engaging party members and stakeholders in the attempt to rebuild trust and cohesion at a time when internal fractures threaten to weaken the party. Their work, he suggested, is centered on reconnecting ODM to its ideological roots rather than advancing individual interests. By highlighting these efforts, Sifuna drew a clear contrast between leaders committed to dialogue and those he implied were reluctant to engage. This contrast has become a central theme in their current debate about ODM's internal health. One of the most striking elements of Sifuna's remarks was his suggestion that some party leaders may be taking instructions from elsewhere. Though he did not name individuals or institutions, the phrase has been widely interpreted as a warning about external influence or coordinated internal factions undermining reconciliation efforts. Political analysts say that language reflects a deep mistrust within the party's leadership ranks. In Kenya's political history, similar accusations have often preceded major alignments, defections, or prolonged internal battles. The implication of outside influence raises concerns about ODM's independence and decision-making processes. For party supporters, the idea that key figures might be guided by interest beyond the party structures challenges the image of ODM as a unified and self-directed political movement. Despite the strong tone of his remarks, Sifuna was careful to distance himself from accusations of self-interest. He insisted that the ongoing disagreements are not about competition for positions or personal political advancement. Instead, he framed the dispute as a principled stand aimed at protecting the party's integrity and long-term stability. According to Sifuna, the issues at stake involve the adherence of ODM's core values, respect for internal democracy, and commitment to transparency. The framing positions Sifuna not as a rival seeking advantage, but a custodian of the party's ideals. However, critics argue that it is a highly competitive political environment. Even principled disputes can carry significant personal and factional implications. Sifuna's remarks come at a particularly sensitive time for ODM. The party is still adjusting to life without Raila Odinga, and whose leadership for decades provided ideological clarity and internal discipline. His absence has left a vacuum that no single figure has fully filled. At the same time, Kenya's political landscape is undergoing rapid change, shifting alliances, debates over cooperation with the ruling administration, and early maneuvering ahead of the next general election have increased pressure on the opposition parties to present a united front. In this context, public signs of division risk undermining ODM's negotiating power and electoral appeal. Political observers note that the unity within major parties is often a key factor in shaping coalition politics and voter confidence. The current tensions reflect deeper questions about leadership and authority within ODM. Without a central figure capable of resolving disputes decisively, disagreements that might previously have been settled internally are now spilling into the public domain. The party's leadership structure is being tested as different voices seek to influence its strategic direction. Some leaders favor cautious engagement with emerging political realities, while others argue for a return to a more confrontational position stance rooted in the party's original mission. Sifuna's emphasis on ideology and values suggests concern that ODM risks drifting away from its founding principles. Whether this concern is shared widely within the party remains an open question. Among ODM supporters, Sifuna's remarks have sparked mixed reactions. Some see his statement as a necessary wake-up call, urging leaders to prioritize dialogue and unity over hidden agendas. Others worry that airing internal disagreements publicly could deepen divisions and weaken the party's image. Political analysts say the episode highlights the difficulty of managing large political organizations during periods of transition. Parties built around strong personalities often struggle to adapt when leadership changes, especially in environments where political competition is intense and stakes are high. Analysts also note that Sifuna's comments reflect a broader trend in Kenyan politics, where internal party debates increasingly play out of public as leaders seek to shape narratives and rally support. At the heart of the debate is ODM's ideological identity. Since its formation, the party has positioned itself as a vehicle to reform social justice and resistance to centralized power. Maintaining that identity requires internal cohesion and clear principles. Sifuna's remarks suggest concern that internal divisions could dilute the party's message and weaken its connection to supporters. By praising efforts to revive Raila Odinga's spirit, he underscored the symbolic importance of continuity with the party's past. Whether ODM can modernize its strategy while preserving its ideological core remains one of the greatest challenges. For now, the full extent of the internal disagreements remain unclear. Sifuna's statements have brought the issue into the open, but they have not yet followed by formal responses from other senior leaders. But apart from that, party members and supporters will be watching closely to see whether dialogue initiatives gain momentum or whether opposing factions harden their positions. The next steps taken by ODM's leadership will likely determine whether the party can restore trust internally. Much will also depend on whether leaders choose to address disagreements through established party mechanisms or continue to engage through public statements. The tensions within ODM matter beyond the party itself. As one of Kenya's most prominent opposition movements, ODM plays a central role in shaping national politics and political debate and holding the government to account. Internal instability could weaken its effectiveness at a time when strong opposition oversight remains essential for democratic balance. Conversely, a successful effort to rebuild unity could strengthen the party's influence and credibility. Sifuna's remarks serve as a reminder that political parties are living institutions shaped by both ideals and power struggles. How ODM resolves its current challenges will appear and offer important lessons about leadership, accountability, and resilience in Kenya's evolving democracy. As the party confronts these questions, the outcome will not only shape its own future, but also influence the broader political landscape in the years ahead. That is all for today. Kindly consider subscribing to our YouTube channel as a way of motivating us and also helping us grow as a platform. As we prepare and as we source news items from all over Kenya and beyond.